Going to call the July 10th, 2025 work session of the Keystone Central School District Board of Directors to order. I'm going to start with a flag salute and a moment of silence.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, roll call, please.
Dr. Baldino?
Here.
Mr. Cannon? Ms. Donahue?
Here.
Mr. Elling?
Present.
Mr. Johnson?
Here.
Mr. Knopf?
Here.
Ms. Lynch? Here. Mr. Scaff?
Here.
Ms. Smith? Here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 members present.
Thank you. Okay, little housekeeping. Okay. Like to make this statement. Good evening, everyone. As we begin tonight's meeting, I want to take a moment to remind all in attendance of the expectations we hold ourselves and each other to. This board is committed to conducting its work with professionalism, civility, and respect. We ask that everyone present, board members, staff, and members of the public join us in maintaining a respectful and constructive environment. Personal attacks, disruptive behavior, or disrespectful language will not be tolerated. We are here to support the learning and education of every student in the Keystone Central School District. Our focus must remain on doing what's best for our students, staff, and schools. Thank you for your cooperation and your continued support of KCSD. Okay, I'd also like to make an announcement that tonight at 6:01 to 6:17, we held a executive session for personnel and legal matters. Okay. All right, next up, we have the provider's presentation.
So thank you, gentlemen, for coming tonight. Does the board have a preference? We have representatives from both River Rock Academy and Nittany Learning Services here. Does the board have a preference in terms of order?
We didn't get anything from Nittany. Are they here?
Yeah.
Let's just start with River Rock.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
River Rock's sitting in front.
Since we have their.
Yeah, River Rock's in front. You guys can start.
And they got two big guys.
Yeah.
We come with a presence.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for having us.
If you could speak into the microphone.
Sorry.
Thank you.
Yep, well, thank you for having us. My name is John Emp. I'm a Regional Operations Director for River Rock Academy. This is Ken Tallman. He is taking over as our campus director at our Williamsport campus. I had reached out to the admin team here to just as a courtesy call to kind of inform them of some of the things that we were changing at our Williamsport campus. And they had asked that I come and talk to you guys directly because they thought that you would be interested to hear some of the things that will be different this fall as opposed to last fall. So I just put together a quick little presentation here and I will email it to your secretary so you can have it as a PDF. The first page is just our staff. So as you look down through here, you'll notice that Ken has taken over as campus director. Stephanie Bieber is returning as our administrative associate. Jenna Cameron has moved from a behavior coach position into a case manager position. Dudmai St. Hilaire, one of our teachers, he came on board in March to replace a teacher that we had to move past. Timothy Miller joined us in late April. Yeah. So he came in as a behavior coach for us. Cody Brown, who I am understanding is a local person in this area, will be joining us as a counselor this year. Julie Sparks will be joining us as a teacher this year. Katie Vaughn joining us as a teacher this year. Sean Wilson joining us as a teacher this year. Raymond Kantz as a behavior coach and Michael Erb as a behavior coach. So I won't go through everything that's on these pages. But, I can tell you, I've been working at the Williamsport campus since about mid-March. I was the campus director in our Bradford County campus and then was promoted to the regional role at the end of February. And I will tell you that I have all the faith in the world in Ken. Ken has an extensive background in mental health. He's been working in this sort of role for 20 years in different capacities. He has stepped up to the plate just kind of naturally, even while the other leader was there. Ken was kind of the go-to for all the staff. They have all the, faith and confidence in him, and it really shines through. Moving to Stephanie. Stephanie's returning, so really not a whole lot to say about that. Jenna Cameron is, like I said, moving from behavior coach into a case manager role. She is fantastic at forming relationships with the students. She does a really nice job of de-escalating them. So we thought it was more appropriate for her to be in a position where she could meet a little bit more individually with them and more frequently, especially when they were calm and weren't escalated. Saint came to us. Like I said, we had a teacher that we had to move past, and Saint had applied. Saint came from Williamsport Area School District. He was with Abraxas. Has a long background again in helping disruptive youth. Grew up in Brooklyn, had his own struggles, lost his parents when he was very young. So he's lived the life a lot of these students, are living. He was a professional basketball player in Europe. Our kids really gravitate to Saint. They really have bonded with him. Tim Miller was a police officer for 20 years. He was at Williamsport for most of those years and then was the chief of police in Sunbury. Tim, again, extensive background, obviously in law enforcement, very good at reading the kids, getting to know them. He is, he brings a wealth of information to us, especially with the Williamsport area, because he's very connected in that community. Cody Brown, Cody is recently hired. I don't really know much about Cody other than the interview that I did with him. I thought he had a lot of enthusiasm. He was really excited to be offered the job. So, I'm really hoping. I've heard nothing but good things about him. I know he's worked in this area, like I said, as a BHT, and he's just kind of worked his way through different school districts here to get the credentials that he needed. Julie Sparks came to us from Pittsburgh. She worked at a partial hospitalization program for 12 years with, troubled youth at partial. She will be joining us as a teacher. She was at Loyalsock last year as a Title I aide, but really wanted to get back into a teaching role. Katie Vaughn is coming to us from Virginia. She was overseeing 3 counties for IEP compliance and then working with high school autism. Again, very challenging job. She's done ESY for several years. So I think she's going to bring a lot of quality to our program. Sean Wilson is joining us from Southern Tioga School District, where he was a teacher for 18 years. And he just felt like he needed to be in a different area, wanted a different experience. So he's coming with a lot of teaching experience. Michael Erb owns an MMA gym in Williamsport. He also is involved with the Bully Proof program. So he teaches adults and students in his gym. Again, that coach mentality is really important to us. Don't really know. We'll see. But I think he has the right personality. I think he has the right morals, and I think he'll bond well with our kids. Raymond Kantz is another retired police officer. So Raymond worked in major crimes unit. So he was a detective. He was a mostly homicide detective. Very good with verbal judo, I guess is the best way to put it. So fantastic negotiator, good for our kids to de-escalate them, be able to really, get in their minds and work through problems with them. And then I just put some of our stats on here as they're related to Keystone Central. We had 5 students from Keystone Central last year. Out of the 5 students, 3 of them were with us for 145-day stint and returned successfully. We have 1 currently who will be coming back in the fall who just has not completed his 45 days yet. And then we did have one student from here that we didn't feel like it was the best place for that student. We weren't having success. The student was continuing to struggle. And so unfortunately, it just didn't work out with her. So we're hoping that, we get a lot more opportunity to work with your kids. I will say that, them coming in and finishing in 45 days is our goal. I mean, obviously we want to get them back to, regular school as soon as we can. And then I just kind of summarized our changes. So we had a change in leadership this year with Ken. We added an additional behavior coach, so we now have 3. We added 2 teaching positions, so we have 4 teachers. Added an additional counselor, so we'll have 2. We changed our curriculum for elective courses. I took over as regional operation director, so that gives us, support that's a lot closer than Lancaster or York. Added a special educational support with an educational director. She is part-time, but she does do IEP compliance and she works with the special ed staff there. We moved some people within the region. So when I came from Bradford, I recognized that we had a need for a little bit more expertise. So I moved some of my people down to the Williamsport campus and then moved some Williamsport members up to the Bradford campus. Then Ken and I have been working pretty hard on developing relationships with our local providers. We've been going to meetings. We've been having people come to the school, just looking for more of those community-based supports, just trying to really get involved with the community and the counties so that we can, really get all the support we need for our kids. And then going into last school year, so I know that you guys came in like mid-year, it was winter. And so we started last school year, it was a very quick process because of, the circumstances that led River Rock to coming to Williamsport. And so we were hiring staff for that campus right up until the end of summer. This year, we have had, the opportunity to really dig in deeply to the applicants that we've brought on board. And as a result of that, we've raised our years of experience with our staff from about a combined about 40 years over the whole campus to about 130 years between Ken, Katie, Julie, Michael, everybody's that's coming in, with the exception of maybe 2, has had a very extensive, career working in this sort of environment. So we're hoping that, the quality will improve and that we can continue to provide excellent service for you guys.
All right, thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Anybody have any questions? Elizabeth, go ahead.
Thank you. Thank you. That was very informative. This is something we've never had a chance to discuss yet. And I'm not looking for any answers, just putting this out there right now. When it comes to scoring things and assessments and outcomes, our school district has a certain method, certain guidelines that they follow. And I'm sure you probably have your own guidelines on what you follow so you can assess your outcome. So do you feel that there might be any interest in possibly trying to coordinate with our team? So when you do your assessments, they might coordinate a little better with our school district's assessments, so it's more apples to apples. Do you have any history on that? Maybe you could explain how you've done this in the past with other school districts or?
So you're saying like students taking a particular course?
I don't know.
Okay.
I'm just, whatever
Yeah.
experience you've had or.
Yeah, so we do look at the grade scales for every district and we do try to work within those grade scales. So, some districts, an A is a 92, a B is an 84, so we
Sure.
have all those grade scales. We do consider those things when we're looking at transitioning students back. As far as the everyday grading of materials, I could not say that in my experience, we've ever explored that as far as, common sort of assessments or things like that. But it is definitely something that we could have a conversation with the administrative team here about and just kind of see.
Maybe if I reword that, I'm
Yep.
sorry, apologies.
Okay.
Oh, go ahead. Oh, I'm sorry.
Oh, no.
Oh, okay. What I'm trying to say, to some sort of strategy or outcome, whatever would, the conversation would be with administration here. So the board at the end of the year or biannually, whatever the board decides. So when we evaluate something. So when we're looking at something to evaluate, like the successes, the challenges, what they're working towards. So your score system or however you do your evaluations or outcomes would somehow coordinate and speak to what our school district is doing. So when we're evaluating these programs with the contracts that we have to see the successes, the challenges, does that seem a little
And you would be,
clearer?
and you would be specifically looking for academic progress though.
I
right?
don't,
Or-
but that's the
okay.
thing. I don't
Because-
know. Whatever you feel, whatever's best for the students.
Yeah,
Whatever you
so-
between administration, whatever it is that we're going to be evaluating. So there is some sort of coordination between the two entities.
So with our campus there, we have two programs, which the one is AEDY, which was the one, you know, initially. And then we have our PAL program.
Bless you.
And PAL is private academic license. So PAL is not disciplinary. That is for only identified students in grades 7 through 12. If we get to the point where we're comfortable opening elementary, that is K to 6, and that is regular ed or special ed. So I think the two programs are very different in regards to what I would view as being most important.
Okay,
With AEDY, obviously, it's a disciplinary placement. The students are coming there with some sort of violation. It doesn't necessarily mean that they're a persistent violator. We have some kids who have made one bad choice and they're, you know, they come to us. We have other kids who have made a lot more than one bad choice. So it's kind of on an individual student by
Sure.
student basis. I will tell you that, you know, with AEDY, we are required to have them set a goal.
yeah,
They work towards that goal. And we report that out to the districts
Sure.
regularly. And as far as academic success, I actually, for one of my annual goals in this new role, goal number 2 of mine is to come up with a common report across
Oh.
the entire region that we can be sending out regularly to the school districts. Now that, you know, that's gonna be a work in progress. I think my first milestone is October. So, you know, but yeah, that would be something that I would hope that you would have access to and be able to see.
that, thank you. That's where we're traveling towards in my conversation with you. That's great.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yep. And we also, one more thing.
Go ahead.
We also have started in our region doing so when a student is going to return, we have their FPR, their formal periodic review meeting.
Sure.
And we've actually started doing student-led FPR meetings. So then the students actually are preparing and presenting at their transition meeting. And that would be something that I would highly encourage you to get a hold of. If whomever, yeah, because it's everyone that has seen one of our students do one of those is blown away. I mean,
And what's that called again? I'm so
the FPR is formal periodic review. And
Okay,
so that's what's required every 45 days. But like I said, we've kind of, well, I mean, we still do a part of it, but we start that process with the student presenting to everyone who's present. And, you know, they talk about their successes, their struggles, their failures. They talk about their experience there. They talk about their goals when they go back to school, what they've learned. And like I said, there's normally a lot of tears from whether it's school admin or parents, the student themselves. So it's been a great step for us.
okay, so that's something we don't do yet, but that's something you could work
We
with
actually-
administration.
We have started doing them, but your admin team will, so we started them in Bradford County last year.
Okay,
We will be starting them this year in Williamsport. So
That's
your
the-
admin team will have the opportunity to see some of those.
that's wonderful.
Chris.
That's an outcome. That's great.
Go ahead.
You had said that you had 5 kids.
Mhm.
3 came back, one's almost done, and
Yep.
one what happens to that one that got out of the program or whatever? Where do they go from there?
So what would happen in a situation like that is we would be talking to the admin team here and saying, you know, hey, we've been working with your student now, it's been 6 weeks. We've had, you know, this has happened, this has happened, this has happened. We don't seem to be making any progress. Do you guys have any other ideas about a different placement or a different opportunity, something that would be maybe more fitting for that student. Ultimately, we hope that we can kind of come to a collaborative decision about what's best for the student. And I will tell you, I do feel strongly that if we had the team there in the winter, when that student came to us,
Right,
that we have now, I do feel like that student would have a different outcome. I
okay.
just don't, that student came and it was a very chaotic time. And I don't think she really got the attention and support that she needed.
Is there a chance of bringing that student back?
So with AEDY, unfortunately, it doesn't necessarily work that way. So once they change educational placements, they have to reoffend in order to be put back into AEDY.
Okay,
Now, I would say that if the district thought, if that student, I don't remember, I was only there a few weeks when that student was there. If the students identified and the district felt that they were not meeting that student's needs for her education, they could do a referral to the PAL program. And
Right.
so, but as far as AEDY, they're very strict about, it's a 45-day placement, and if they change educational placement, then they have to reoffend.
Okay.
Didn't know that.
thank you.
So that was a challenge when Justice Works went out. All these students were left with nowhere to go.
Yep.
Right,
And some districts decided to put students online, some districts decided to bring them back. And unfortunately, the ones who had decided to bring them back could not put them back. So even if we would have opened a week later, they would have not been able to re-enroll them into ABY. It's just
Okay.
the way the state works.
thanks.
Very interesting.
Okay, all right. Thank you,
All right.
gentlemen.
Thank you,
Appreciate it.
everybody.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right, next up, Nittany Learning. Good luck, gentlemen. Uh,
So we're gonna do a thing through media here with a slideshow. So all the information that we're gonna be talking about is gonna be presented.
Okay,
My name is John Paul Petrosini, and this is Terry Baumgartner. We're both with Nittany Learning Services. We'll be splitting this presentation up tonight. It'll be a little bit different than that one. We'll give you an overview of what we do, okay? So thank you for giving us this opportunity to talk about Nittany Learning Services and the work that we do. I'd like to start this meeting by reading an email from a former Central Mountain High School student that we had this year. Okay. I know it's about 6:15, but it starts out, "Good morning, JP. How have you been? I miss being there at Nittany Learning Services sometimes, but I'm glad to be back at my home school. I have court tomorrow to see if I get placed. I'm hoping I don't because of basketball. My birthday is next Wednesday. I hope they give me another chance to prove myself. I'm in the online room as of right now, but I'm working to try to be a junior as soon as I can. You have helped me a lot. I just got my working papers and stuff. I'm going to start looking for a job. The workbook that Mr. B gave me, I've been using and trying to get a membership to the Y to work out more. And just everything you guys told me was meaningful. And like I told you, I'm going to take your words into consideration. One day, we were all going to take your words into consideration one day. You've always had good talks, and I felt like you've always understood me, Mr. JP. You're the man, and I'm glad I got a chance to meet you. Have a great week. I have your number too." I think he was probably one of 3 or 4 students I gave my number out to. I'll be calling you if I need to talk or if anything comes up. But like I said, that was an email from one of our former students from Central Mountain High School. Let's talk about who we are. Do you want to hit the slide? Yep. Get that. Slide that over here. Okay. Nittany Learning Services has been in operation for 10 years. Prior to Nittany Learning Services, we worked for another provider, and we've had many, many years prior providing alternative services to disruptive youth. We serve almost 50 school districts throughout central PA. During our auditing, we've received tremendous feedback from Pennsylvania Department of Ed, and the Bureau of Special Ed. Currently, we have 4 PBE approved AEDY programs. We employ dedicated staff that are consistent in helping our disruptive youth. Our 4 programs now are in Pleasant Gap, Juniata County, Northumberland, and we are looking forward to our first year working in Hollidaysburg with an approved program down there.
And but all our programs here, I will just want to highlight that we've had very little changeover with our staff. We've stayed very consistent with that. We've had a lot of dedicated staff over the last 10 years in each one of our programs, from our team leaders, which run the programs, to our staff, our counseling staff, our special ed staff, and our teachers that do all the stuff in the classrooms. We are also boots in the ground as well. We have the opportunity, as John Paul just said, to open up a new program in Hollidaysburg. We were approached to come into them, and so we're starting a Blair County program here this year as well. Go to the next. Referrals to the program, those guys talked a little bit. We talked a little bit about the process. We're going to talk a little bit about the process here and referrals that come into our program, and the process here. And what that's going to do is give us a little insight about us and who we are as people and what we've done. We've done it for, I know my adult life, this is what I've done. Referrals are submitted directly from the district through Leader Services to the state. And then when they get to us, our administrative team which includes our directors, special ed staff, and counselors, look to ensure that it's appropriate place for alternative education. That's to go through that process appropriately is the most what we need to do to make sure all paperwork and everything is all in line right there.
So as Terry said, the referrals are sent through Leader Services. They're made by the school district. I'm the guy who kind of goes through and reviews every single part of that referral. You'll see after the referral is submitted, I'll follow up with any of the sending school districts if any of the interventions weren't made or if there are any questions about the appropriate placement in AEDY for the student. Then when the student is approved, there's an intake meeting that follows. Terry could talk about that a little bit with the formal intake.
Well, once we go through that, I mean, one thing we really want to do is relationship based. We're really big on what we do with our how we have expectations. You walk into our programs, there's not a lot of rules. Okay, our things is kids understanding the rituals and routines and the expectations they're going to go through within the program, and the restorative practices that go involved. And to do that, we have an orientation process, with the paperwork. That paperwork is reviewed with the students. The students' questionnaire, handbook review, strengths and interest sheet, everything that goes into and then with our assessment process as well, both academic and also behavioral. Okay, and all that process is done prior to integration into class. Okay, with stuff and how we connect with the students right there.
The formal orientation process is to familiarize the student with how our program operates, what the academic expectations are, what the behavioral expectations are, and basically how things are handled. Sure.
We get the next slide. Our criteria, I'm sure if you aren't familiar with it, there's 6 criteria as for alternative education for disruptive youth. There's what I like to call the laundry lists, which are 1 and 6, and then the ones in the middle are usually kind of the slam dunks that kind of happen. The laundry list for, kids build up a rap sheet in school, and something needs to be done to try to improve the behavior, and so they can be a little bit more successful in the school. And then the ones in the middle of direct violations, code of conduct and whatnot, and dealing with those students as well. And also going through that process of appropriate placement for students with IEPs, and if it falls within and we have that manifestation determination, meaning it falls within their disability or not as well. But that criteria is kind of right here. The next slide, please. So, and this is what we do, and this is the biggest thing. We get into the parts of like growth through relationship building and what we do with things. The way we individualize our educational services. We're in direct contact with the schools constantly and with the parents. I mean, we have weekly updates to go out to the parents we have weekly emails that go out with both behavioral and academic assessment and the data from that particular week that is there, that goes out to them. Constant contact with all your administration team in every school district that we service, okay, as well. Structured, predictable, and safe classroom environment. Yeah, I'm really big on from the ritualistic standpoint of things where that builds resiliency. When a student or a student, even a student particularly at risk, knows what to expect, they know their resources, how to get those resources, how to respond to those resources, because they know they're there. And we're big on that. And it all works into the behavioral accountability through our multi-tier system of positive behavior support, which we go with we call it review, remind, restore. Okay. And, tier 1, tier 2, tier 3, if you really want to go into it and getting into that with kids. Data-driven behavioral measurements, which are really big. We got to have, if you can have the numbers that are based on substantial information, are safe, responsible, and respective, positive behavior, which is our PBIS, and how we have students, and assess things period to period, and they can see where they stand, and they can assess where they stand as well. And our positive behavior interventions and supports, which are incentive-based, and recognition for student achievement. And I can't say enough about we are very much so involved with our restorative practice. Every staff we have, John Paul talked to this later, is trained in restorative practices. Jean Canals, I don't know if you guys are aware who Janine is. She does a training for our staff every year. Everybody needs to go through that training. Okay. Restorative based practices focus on communication strategies, building relationships. This includes classroom meetings, circles, in which I know they were done here for a while, and conflict resolution strategies. We do circles on a daily basis. We want to connect with it. Okay. Accountability, we want accountability, that restorative piece, so the kids can understand and improve that behavior. Okay. The next slide, please. Academic processes. I know we read some talks about that as well. Work right with the district on a lot of that stuff and what assessments to do. In fact, we've actually worked with different districts with what platform they're using for their educational processes, and we adapt, and our staff will use their platform based on what they want. I know particularly we work with the Midwest School District, and they want their platform used with their students. We use that platform. So therefore, even the assessments that were brought up, the academic assessments in particular, are used and they're correlate with that. We use ExactPath for our assessments, okay, which gives us a direct grade level score below, above, whatever, with a percentile score of where they at and sit. So it sits right there, okay. We also have kids then when they are matched directly with the classes that they had here. Okay, for example, a kid had Algebra 1, second semester Algebra 1 when they came into us. We get them in second semester Algebra 1. We do that with everything. And with every required credits, and individual capabilities that kind of go along with that. And that goes with monitoring individual assignment sheets and guided notes. I like to call it a blended curriculum, because there's a writing element in what we do with stuff, and how we define what's completed and how that builds into how what their rate of completion is, and their responsible behavior, which goes onto that behavioral sheet that we kind of mentioned earlier. We have one-on-one classroom support and mentoring that goes into everything we do with our classroom staff, both for special ed, regular ed, whatnot. And that's what we call it right there. Every one of our staff within our academic processes connects with each student at the class and where they're at with their academics and what assignments they're on and how we do that. And of course, the implementation of individual education plans, or IEPs, which is, of course, essential as well for those students to get those needs met. Okay. The next slide, please.
So as required in all AED-wide programs, students receive 2.5 hours of counseling. This occurs 3 different ways: individually, group, and with career counseling. And you'll see some of the topics there that we cover. We use positive action curriculum, purpose prep curriculum, which can target individual student needs. We have restorative action processes, I'm going to talk a little bit about our career counseling component. This is something new and different that we've been doing, and we've seen some very, very good results with that. First, I'm going to talk about the PACT training. PACT is the Pennsylvania Academic and Career Technical Training. The Pleasant Gap program is an affiliate and has been entered in its third year as a PACT affiliate. We meet the core requirements in academic and core instruction as a PACT affiliate. As an affiliate, we are grounded in the goal of providing guidance and uniformity to work-ready training activities offered to delinquent youth. As part of PACT affiliation, all of our students have a portfolio that highlights the employee soft skill manual. These activities include 27 key competencies organized across 5 different domains that include career awareness and exploration, job search skills, job mentoring, job advancement, life skills, and personal and social development skills. Through PACT affiliation, we also have the ability to teach our students the knowledge and skills to be productive, connected, law-abiding citizens by emphasizing pro-social skills, moral reasoning skills, workforce development skills, and independent living skills. Last year, we piloted Smart Futures in one of our AEDY programs. Since the implementation of Smart Futures, we've had all the other counselors trained, and that Smart Futures will be incorporated in all of our other AEDY programs. I'll talk about that for a second. I really enjoy this piece of what we do. So Pennsylvania was the first state in the US to require that all students graduate with a personal career plan and portfolio that's tied to clearly defined K-12 career education benchmarks. These benchmarks, called Pennsylvania Academic Standards for Career Education and Work, CEW standards, provide the curriculum roadmap that ensures that all students are prepared for 21st century success. Smart Futures provides us with grade level career planning in a portfolio platform that helps us easily implement the CEW standards in any of our classrooms. Students have the opportunity to earn badges in the following areas: thinking about careers and success, personality type, job applications, preparing for a career, abilities, aptitudes, personal interests, career clusters and pathways, experiencing careers while in school, selecting career goals, college programs and majors as part of that portfolio. Smart Futures also provides our students with the opportunity to earn micro credentials that can give them the edge of the regular applicant. Some of these, and also industry recognized certifications. Some of these include basic computer skills, working with Windows 10, Mac OS, Microsoft Word, Microsoft Excel, PowerPoint, information literacy, career search skills, so on and so forth. The connection with OVR as well. We have guest speakers that come in from OVR and from CareerLink as well.
And Central Mountain uses Smart Futures as well.
Yeah, I
Yes,
think
you
one of the
guys are all connected
Yep.
to Smart Futures.
So that the reason why we moved towards Smart Futures, it's much more beneficial for our students, and that portfolio goes with them. All the badges, everything they did from kindergarten on is portable, and it goes right with them.
Next slide, please.
Oh, yeah. So I talked about a little bit of the OVR coming in and CareerLink to talk with our students about all job and career related opportunities.
We have community service coordinators that work directly with our students in connecting with a lot of outside agencies and a lot of outside programs, Baltimore State Park, just named a Fish and Boat Commission, Adopt a Highway for community service opportunities and hours for those students as well. And here's a big thing, and if we could go to the next one here. This next one is, I can't tell you how much I say this to kids, and I tell you, and that's what I really, I'm a big three, I'm a coach. So I'm big on threes. Kids can do threes, we work in threes. And I'm really big on the big three with me is accountability. Okay, because if you can make accountability for whatever happened, I always say to kids, you either got caught or you got caught up, right? You know what I mean, at some point your situation changed your plight, and accountability for that is essential. And we can get some accountability for that, get some restorative practices with it. We get accountability, we can make some behavioral connections that lead to the reduction in the frequency of that behavior, or even put themselves in those situations. And that's the biggest things. And within our FPRs, we have you know, we have a goal that's set based on the reason referral with that. Okay, and also, you know, one based on our SDQs or strengths and difficulties questionnaire, which takes a deeper dive to set our other more personal goal that maybe could be the reason why this even happened. Okay, but the biggest thing with these students, we go is our three phases of behavioral growth, which is accountability, making the connections, and a reduction of that behavior right there. So we could move. That's 11. If we can move on to the next one. And then that falls in, to do all this, this is what needs, this is kind of what we go through, so make sure the kids can.
And we spend about 4 days in the end of the summer before school starts to get all of our staff trained in the following areas: safe crisis management, restorative practices, trauma-informed interventions, resiliency-based interventions, choice theory, we're all old school choice theory guys, and all of the other required trainings that PD requires through Vector Solutions. And then I'd like to conclude with some of our student outcomes from this past school year. We served 21 total students from Keystone Central School District. 18 of those students met their academic goals. 15 of those students increased and or maintained their attendance. 18 students successfully transitioned back to the high school or middle school. And none of our, and we don't really have restraints in our programs, but we just put that in there. No student was restrained. So we have a couple slides here of testimonials from different superintendents and principals that we've worked with. And, you know, I'd like to thank you guys the opportunity to talk about what we do and share our knowledge working with disruptive youth.
And my name is Terry Baumgartner. I don't know if I mentioned that, of course, and we're not only one of the owners, but we're boots on the ground. I mean, that's what we do. I mean, I work in 3 different programs, okay, to oversee it. I go there when I'm working, I'm there. I'm working with the kids along with making sure that what we implement gets followed through with. And I think that's where, you know, when the state came in and saw what we do and how we do it and how it was and our process-based way we do things. And you'll see it where I know, for example, I know in our Juniata Center, we only had 4 students. And we have 5 districts coming in. We only had 4 students all year that stayed, that was in our program for more than 45 minutes. So, you know, the process-based we do things with has been effective in how we've kind of streamlined how we provide our services. And we're very, very fortunate and blessed. God has blessed us to have some really great individuals following through with our stuff.
Okay. Elizabeth?
Well, it's only fair to ask the same question, right?
Okay, just
Oh, please.
kind of condense it.
Just to be on the fair side.
Okay.
So for assessments, when you gave us stats, that's wonderful. How many students came in, how many came out?
Mhm.
And at what level? Do you coordinate with your scoring or somehow with assessments with our district? So it's apples to apples, or can you explain what your?
So let me give you a big picture here and address both academic and behavior, and Terry could probably talk about more of the
Sure,
academic.
thank you.
So we collect it's data. It's called the LEA data sheet. And there's many different topics, if you will, that measure attendance, grades, grade level, IEP, suspensions, like increased attendance, increased grade point average. So that from a big picture is all recorded yearly for every school in every districts that we work with in all of our programs. So that's one part, I think, of the question. The other part, I mean, Terry, you could talk a little bit
Well, the
about
other
that
part
too,
is, I mean, we
academically.
get all the information from the school. I mean,
Yes.
so from assessment standpoint, we get and see what grade level, where this kid reads at, where this kid goes there as well. And, you know, and in direct contact with those teachers or the administration team that we talk with each school, we have that information. We talk with this kid, we know where that kid's at, and we have our assessment, and we will let that, and we like, because we already have theirs, we'll get it back. And so it correlates there. A lot of districts, you know, if we're using the same platform, it's very, very easy with that. From a behavioral standpoint, you know, depending on if the kid has an IEP or not, that's going to really determine of where that assessment goes and what we're gonna do with things, because we're gonna go directly off the IEP and how that gets, whether it gets changed a little bit or whatever, the goals change, whatever, when they get placed with us. So that goes, so it goes right with it. So from an assessment standpoint, I think we connect with them, and it depends on the level, it depends on the student, the type of student it is, and what we're doing with it as well. But as far as, doing the same assessment, I mean, or how we do things, there's a lot of different things different schools do, and so it makes it, so that would be a challenge, but I think the biggest thing is the level of communication you have with that kid, because we all have the same thing in mind. We go into an FPR or assessment situation where we're at with this kid, we want to be on the same page and what where the parents at, where the school's at, and having that when we sit there and talk about everything and what we're going to do, even from a behavioral standpoint moving forward and what we have with that. So
Let me see if I can summarize it this way too. So when students come in, we match their schedule, middle school, high school, whatever courses they were taking at their home school.
Sure.
We assess them language, arts, reading, and math. And, those levels match up, we're good to go. We assess them at the time of discharge as well, in those same 3 areas of reading, language, arts, and math. Terry talked a lot about this. There's a ton of communication, especially when the student starts, like, hey, he's in the same altitude class, but he tested out at like eighth grade math level. Like, let's take a look at this here. And it looks like we could tell with our assessments that the student put effort in, he tried, and he really struggled. So we work with guidance in that area. It doesn't happen too often, but it does happen. We have the flexibility to do that. So when it comes time for grading, all of that is communicated. The grading scale, if it's, I think a couple districts, it's a point or two different. That is all communicated with the district. It's all seamlessly worked out. It's kind of just the process. Great question, but it's just kind of happens.
Chris?
You said you guys have had 21 students? Can I ask since when?
This 24-25 school year.
This past week.
21 different students.
Yeah, 21 different students.
Yeah.
Yep. Some were in, I don't have the stats as their duration of each student. I can probably get that to you.
I'm
Yeah.
curious because Dr. Redmond sent us a letter tonight. And I'm showing just since January, there was 43.
So remember, a lot of those are crossovers. You'll see the same student might appear in 2 or 3 different months because they're there for a 45-day placement.
Okay.
So
I'm just curious because the numbers weren't jiving, that's
Yeah,
all.
It's 21.
And then there, if you did it since last October, it was 66. And then if you count the kids and all the grades that we were provided, there's 28. That's why I'm confused when you say
Yeah, we had
21.
21 Central Mountain students on our rolls.
Okay,
Yep. I like your mouse, by the way. That's pretty cool.
thanks.
Yeah.
Man,
Elizabeth?
I think this has really been a great outcome because it just kind of shows that when the board wants to evaluate possibly next year, that your communication and what we're evaluating will be easier to understand now that both of you have been here and you can talk with administration, so you can work all that out. So like if we look at the end of the year progress report or outcomes, they'll be apples to apples.
Yeah,
So that'll be
that's
very
absolutely.
helpful.
Absolutely.
On our side too, there are different measures that we have to record. And, as we started, referrals were sent in leader services.
Sure.
There are outcomes that we need to report there as well that aren't as extensive as like the LEA data sheet. That's a pretty comprehensive document. So that information is there.
Well, you can all work it, you
Yep.
folks work it
Yeah,
out.
yep.
Where's just a summary possibly at the end of the year.
Yeah, absolutely.
That'd be lovely.
Yeah.
Okay?
All right, thank you, guys. Appreciate it.
All right, thanks for this opportunity.
Okay. Oh. All right. Moving on, hearing of visitors. Do we have anybody signed up? No? Okay. Next up, superintendent's report.
all right, I have a few things that I want to cover. First of all, some update on some of our summer programs. The summer camps that we've been doing, we have 141 students that have signed up. And so 44 at Mill Hall, 25 at Jack Bailey, 2 at Piper Harmon, 10 Woolrich, 10 at Castanea, 15 at North Bend, and 35 registered students at Renova. That's not, they don't all attend every day. And recently we had a staff member who had to stop because of some other things going on, and that was in the area where we only had a couple of students. So we're combining that one with one of the other ones that's nearby, rather than rehiring someone else to fill a place where we only have a couple of students signed up. So we did some combining of those two. So pretty good turnout, 141 students were signed up. Again, the daily attendance is kind of, some show up on some days, some show up on others. It's not perfectly consistent, but it's good to see some solid numbers there. On that numbers note, the summer feeding, the numbers are remarkable in that last year in June, we did a total of 1,488 meals. Now, just to make sure that, so we're clear, we only offered 3 meals a day. And then this year we're offering 7 meals a day. And in June alone, we're over 3,400 meals.
Well, that's all the different
Yeah,
areas.
because we spread out. Right?
Sure.
So we're catching more areas now. I was up at
Good.
the Renova distribution site when they were handing out, and there were parents there and kids there. They're very grateful to have access to the meals over the summer. I think the program's going very well.
Yes.
Sure.
Do we think we're gonna have funding for this next year, or don't we know yet?
We don't know. It's
Okay,
it's a
okay,
grant-based
okay,
program.
no, I know, okay, good, well, at least we did it, okay, thank you,
Water coolers.
yes.
We have these water coolers that are kind of scattered around in this office and over in the high school. And Sam and his team actually put water bottle filling stations on this end of the hall and another one down at that end of the hall.
Cheers.
So we're gonna turn those back in, and that'll be a savings of, a couple $1,000s over the course of the school year. But it's just one of those expenses that we can carve out pretty easily.
Thank you.
Thank you,
so-
Frank.
So we're trying to find, turn over all those areas where we can save a few dollars. On the dollars thing, on June 30th, we found out from the Office of Budget Management that they were going to withhold Title 1C, Title 2, Title 3, and Title 4 dollars, pending a review of what those dollars had been used for.
For last year.
This coming
This year.
So we were allocated in the ballpark of $300,000 that we were supposed to get for the budget that the board passed, that we sent on to PDE on June 30th. The administration said, nope, we're gonna hold all these funds, about $300,000 for us. These are things that we use to pay for all of our professional development. Some of it goes to help support our Title I. It supports our enrichment programs for students. Our DPLs are paid out of this money. We use it to support some of our PBIS work. And we don't know at this point if we're ever going to see the money or when we're going to see the money. And the US Department of Education doesn't know either, because it's not them who's holding it. It's the Office of Management and Budget Management. So, or OMB. OMB is holding it back. We don't know why. There's been no communication. The only thing that I saw was a 3-sentence note coming from the US Department of Education saying, we're going to hold on to these funds pending a review of what the funds have been used for.
It's not just our district, it's nationwide.
Nationwide. Yep.
Okay.
How much is this?
For us, it's about $300,000. And again, I have no idea whether we're going to get these, and if we do, when. It's caused us quite a stir because we don't have any money to backfill that. We can't take that from anything else to put those things back in place. So Randy and Megan and I have been talking about, so what do? We have to kind of unravel some of our planning around professional development and some of the conferences that we were planning on going to. Some of the stuff we'll be able to do. We have the summer covered from the 23-24 allocation that we got. But when we look into September and on, we may not be able to do much around professional development because that funding is gone.
Well, do what you gotta do.
Some of the other things that money paid for. So when I was down in Washington DC at the AASA advocacy conference, I spoke to our legislators. I spoke to Representative Thompson, spent some time with McCormick. I didn't get to see Fetterman because that's when I was meeting with Glenn Thompson's office. And we talked a lot about, and it wasn't just me, it was other superintendents from
Yeah.
all over the country, talking about the impacts in particular of this, this review that's happening with these title programs. But then also the impacts of HB1, as that passed through, it's a pretty significant reduction in education, 15% reduction across the board in education. When in Pennsylvania in particular, we know that the increases that we're getting in state funding don't cover just the normal inflationary increases of the cost of doing business. And on top of that, what it looks like are going to be reductions in the amount of allocations we get from everything from Carl Perkins to support our CTE, but also some of our mental health grants and other things. All of that stuff seems to be being erased. So these are a lot of the ancillary programs that help us do the other stuff besides just the, teaching and learning in classes. All of that seems to be being pulled back. So we're trying to figure out what we're going to do about that, but it's putting us definitely in kind of tough straits.
Are they pulling back mandates?
No.
Okay, I just figured, they're pulling that stuff back. We might,
Roger, did you think?
How long did you work for the government?
I'm just saying, I know.
I have a-
Go ahead, Butch.
Is this gonna have any effect on our school lunch and breakfast program?
There, one of the things in HB1 was increased administrative requirements for folks to be eligible for free and reduced lunch. We, as a school district, used to be able to identify and qualify folks for free and reduced lunch based on some information we have through SNAP and some other medical things that we could say that, these folks need to have that benefit. Now that reverts back and the families have to apply and they will have to, my understanding, I haven't been able to get all the way through it. My understanding is they will have to periodically reapply and for many of the families demonstrate that they're pursuing work in order to get SNAP benefits, for instance. I think there's going to be some downstream impacts on us. I think it's going to be more difficult for us to qualify for our community eligibility program, which is what allows us to provide free breakfast and lunch for all of our students. I'm not saying it's going to go away. I'm saying it's going to be, the numbers are going to be a lot closer. Also, the Medicaid reimbursement that we're allowed to get when students with disabilities are provided ancillary services, speech and language, physical therapy, occupational therapy. If their family qualifies for Medicaid, we can charge those ancillary services to Medicaid and be reimbursed for that. However, with that increased burden for proving that they qualify, a lot of the families are going to roll off. Not necessarily because they don't deserve it, but because of that increased administrative burden. You see this happen before. If you increase the requirements, even
Less
though that
people
their
apply.
income is low, they don't know that they have to reapply. They don't get to the paperwork in time, whatever. They roll off the rolls, their kids roll off the rolls. We can no longer get reimbursement for the services we're providing them through Medicaid. So I think there's going to be some downstream effects on schools that are going to have, we are seeing the direct monetary impact when they just hold on to some of these title funds. And again, I don't know if we're ever going to get those or what it's going to look like when we do, but there's the downstream secondary effects of having these other programs with the increased administrative burdens for the families that we know are going to impact the schools.
Okay.
So it was a good conference, but it wasn't a very happy
I'm
conference.
sure.
Because this, again, it's not, I appreciate the question. It's not just about KCSD or even Pennsylvania. It's every school district, every state.
Incredible. All right. Well, thank you. Next up, committee reports. Policy committee?
We had a meeting the other day and we got quite a bit of stuff we went through. A lot of our stuff is being held up through PSBA. We're waiting for answers.
Okay.
So that's where we are.
All right. Reports, treasurer report, questions? Enrollment reports, question? Elizabeth?
Thank you. This may be a good opportunity now that all these conversations have been going on about cyber charter schools. Now, unless I'm reading this incorrectly, the students that are going to non-Keystone Central School District cyber charter schools, those students are listed on this report, correct? Or are they listed on this report? All the students are going to non-Keystone Central School District cyber schools.
They're not on this report.
Okay. Would the board have any difficulty with them just adding one more line on here? So now we can keep track of how many students are going to non-Keystone Central School District cyber schools? Would that be all right with everybody?
I think that would be a good idea, so we know how many we have in cyber school.
Yeah, not non-Keystone Central School
Right.
District cyber schools.
So you're just looking for another
Mhm.
line somewhere on the bottom there that just says, cyber charter schools. and
Yeah,
just list that out.
non-Keystone
maybe-
Central Schools.
Maybe you could do it like you do with the elementary schools or the secondary school,
Yeah, just-
secondary schools and then.
You have a
Whatever,
line
you know.
down there, the
Yeah.
third one up from the bottom, it says KCSD online,
That's our cyber
Yeah,
charter.
that's ours.
but there's no numbers there at all.
I'm noticing that. I'm not sure why we don't have
Yeah.
numbers there.
We
Well,
don't
that's
have,
what brought this.
Well,
up.
I know we have-
For elementary and secondary.
Oh, yeah, so that's a heading, right? Thank you for that. Yeah.
okay,
Oh, it's a heading.
Yeah.
Oh,
See?
yeah, that was always one. Okay, thank
Okay.
you.
so the one where the line is elementary and one the secondary, those are the kids, the last two lines that are online?
Yes,
Okay,
Our
they're
cyber.
ours. That's in our
Okay.
virtual program.
But not
right.
the external.
It'd be nice
cyber.
to have one other line there, like she said, I think it'd be nice to know how many kids we have out there.
Okay.
That's actually a good idea.
Yes, it's easy enough.
Surprising.
Okay.
You sound like you're surprised.
Well,
Well, Chris.
All right.
good.
So, next up, new PSHIC rate reduced. Okay. Frank, you want to talk about that?
Yeah, so, we heard that Joni might be able to address it a little bit better, but essentially we heard that our insurance rate is being reduced because we haven't used the funds essentially that were sitting out there. So, that means that instead of it being raised, at 11.8%, it's only going to be reduced, increased by 9.3%, which is kind of nice. I think it's the first time in a while we've seen a less
Our
than
claims were actually lower this year.
claims. Yeah, claims are okay.
which
Thank you.
reduced the rate for next year.
Right.
I went back and said,
Oh, I'm sorry. Joe,
Hold it,
please.
uh,
So the-
Microphone.
They have to come up front here. I don't think we have. them.
Thank you.
No problem. I had noticed that our reports were coming in a lot lower than anticipated, starting January, February, and they kept dropping. The claims amount kept dropping. So I went back to Pishik and said, because they used this year's numbers for
Mhm.
next year's rates. And I said, well, it came in a lot lower than what we anticipated, how that should affect our next year's rates. So they actually went back to the actuaries and did some more calculating, and they dropped the rate 2.5%. Very pleased by that. So we have to, stay on track, keep on that number. So that reduced us about, I think, $200,000, but we'll take that.
It's almost a
So
$250,000.
it was a win. So
It's almost what the feds do.
Well,
Mhm. Keep them healthy.
that's 2/3 of what they're screwing around with the feds.
That's what I just said, almost what the feds
Yeah.
do.
Yeah, we're all in this together.
All right, next up, the 25-26 step agreement. All right, go ahead.
Just an observation and consideration. Okay, on page 11. Now that we're talking more about contracts and renewing contracts and new contracts and revising contracts, page 11, this would be very helpful. If you look at page 11 on the lower left-hand corner, it says revised November 20th, 2023. Now, that might have been the original date of the contract, and actually maybe on the right-hand side, put July, whatever, 2025 revised. I don't know. But bottom line, it would be very helpful moving forward for us, for future groups, that on all the contracts, if it's just a renew of a contract, it has the original date in the lower corner. And then if we ever revise a contract, it'll have another line there that says revised with the date. So we can just get back on track.
I'm wondering if this is that it's the form was revised in 2023.
Yeah.
The date of the contract itself is on page 1.
That's why it's a little confusing. If you want to just come up with whatever you think is consistent, Dr.
Yeah,
Ray.
I think
So when we look at these, we don't have to keep asking the same questions.
it says right at the beginning that it may not be retyped or changed in any way. It's a bureaucratic thing.
Yeah. So
Where'd you
it's-
find
it's
that?
the
What page
form
is that?
Right underneath this stuff here, right there. Yeah.
Oh, for their own records. Well,
It's a,
for our own
it's a, I
records.
guess it's a state form.
Oh, it is.
it's-
Yeah, we
it's a
can't
state form.
change the
Yeah.
state form, but at least somehow, however you want to work it out. So it's communicated, this is the same contract, we're just renewing it.
Well, I think it is. We can't change the form.
No,
And-
okay,
And so it's right there on the first page of
Yep.
this is for this year.
And
okay.
it says, it's only good for a year and the dates are in there, July 1st through June 30th.
Okay, well, this might be the worst example I could have possibly picked. But be that as it may, maybe in a disclaimer on the agenda somewhere, in the public comment, somehow, however you want to work it out. So when we look at a contract, it's either a new contract, a continuing contract, or an old contract we're just revising.
So it says in the public content, the 2025-2026 sponsor-to-sponsor agreement for the breakfast and lunch meal contract between KCSD and STEP is an annual requirement by PDE. So it tells
Yeah.
you it's a renewal, it tells you that it's annual, and it tells you that it's for this year.
You're absolutely correct. Like I said, this is probably the worst example I could have picked. And I own that. But I'm just saying, I'm talking about any contract, okay?
Okay,
Thank you.
all right, moving on. Super eval. Anybody have any questions on that?
Yeah,
Okay, Chris, go ahead.
all we're seeing here is a bill, a quote.
Yeah.
What is it?
So the super eval is an evaluation system that is being used in kind of all over the country in various places. It's basically an electronic way to capture evaluation information for myself and for Randy. So for the teacher evaluation system, we use a version of this this kind of electronic form for the evaluation process. So it simplifies and captures the things that I'm doing and can bring evidence into there and stores it so the board can look at it kind of at their leisure as the year goes on. And then the board can all contribute to this online form to come up with the summary eval. And again, this would be specific to the assistant superintendent and the superintendent. There is an opportunity to use that for the rest of the cabinet level folks, but we haven't even started that because we wanted to see if the board was interested in looking at the super eval process for Randy and for myself.
When we did evals this year, we did it all by email.
Mhm.
And I thought it was ridiculous because it did not give board members time to sit and discuss things and hear each other out. It was just boom, here's the vote, it's done. And I think that we as a board to function better should be able to sit and discuss things. Now, I know what you're thinking. You had trouble getting everybody together.
Yes, I did.
But when you sign on to be a board member, you're signing on to make a commitment. And that should be the first forethought.
That is a very good point, Chris. That is a very good point.
I just think I think for us to sit down, the 9 board members, and just discuss things. I think that's a much more effective way than just doing an online thing, because then all you get is a 5-4 vote. That's it.
And I don't know that the super eval necessitates either not having discussions or having discussions. I think the board can still choose to have discussions as the majority wants to proceed, I guess.
Well, I'm full on when we make a commitment to get elected to do this job, we need to make room and understand that there's some things we need to we need to make up.
Roger.
Go ahead, Butch.
I wholeheartedly agree with Chris. I think you have to make a commitment when you serve on the board and attend the meetings that you're supposed to attend. I think part of our job is doing the superintendent's evaluation. I think we do it, we do a preliminary one and then a final one at the end of the year. I think it's very important that we work on it together, and I hope you all have good luck doing it next year. Okay. But it's something that needs done.
I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
Yeah, thank you.
Bill.
Yeah. This is another thing. I think we're spending too much money on too many different softwares on things that could be done here. And I would be against this for that reason. I mean, you know, like I said, the grunts say ounces make pounds and pounds make pain. And these are ounces, and, you know, we're looking to find money all the time, and this is a way to do it.
Yeah, and if anything else, like Butch just said, if this is something that wants to pursue, do it after the election, see what the new board members want.
Okay. Have you guys even taken a look at what super eval is and stuff like that?
Yeah.
Okay.
No, because I thought we would be sent something for us to dig through and look at it.
Well, if you take a look on that evaluation, it does say that okay, under educators elevated or whatever, there's PLS3 learning.com, there's supereval.com and supereval.com terms of service right there. So it takes you and you can actually take a look at everything that it does. So,
I do.
okay.
Okay, I missed that.
Elizabeth?
Yeah, I'm done.
Okay. Okay, I love data. I love AI when used appropriately. I love input. I like comparing apples to apples, but I'll be quite honest with you. I think the intent here is correct. In fact, I'll just go back a little history for you folks that weren't here. About 4 years ago, I requested PSBA come here. They had a $700 program that did something similar, but at that time, the board members were not interested in spending any money for a superintendent's evaluation. So we never got the presentation from PSBA. I'm not pushing it. I'm just saying it was an option back then. It was about $700. I will say this. I believe the law states that we have to do an objective evaluation on a superintendent. I believe that's what the law says, but don't quote me on that. I know that we haven't really had a good process, in my opinion. I feel we can do a lot better how we do an evaluation. But I will say this, I went down the rabbit hole in this one, Roger. And I saw school districts out there that had objective templates already built and already done that they were using. I'm not saying they're perfect, but I believe that with our knowledge, skills, and abilities sitting at this table and our administration and our IT folks, we can come up with our own and save the money. And I'll be honest with you, I've been saying this for 2 years, and I know some of you agree with me. We're heading towards bankruptcy, where the state comes in and we're distressed and they take over. And we have to stop adding these things to the agenda, please. Even though they're well-intentioned, we have to stop, please.
Okay. Anybody else? Okay, next up, procurement card users. Any questions on that?
Yeah, I'm going down the list. And I don't understand why, some of these I understand why they have to have them, but why would Megan Hall, Rachel Phillips, and Elizabeth Barnhart need their own cards? If they need to get something, they could go to Joni or Christy or even Frank and say, hey, we need to get this. And it's bought through that. I'm curious why they have to have cards for their departments. I don't see cards for some of the other people that would need them, so I'm just curious. That's all. Because the more cards that are out there, the more exposure we have to things going wrong.
Joni, do you want to speak to how often the cards are used and why they're allocated?
Where's your hand, Mike, Joni?
Roger, we're waiting for that. Can I just ask you a question?
Sure, go ahead.
I'm just kind of curious why like Sam Hoy's not on it. I thought he would have one for like if they need
That
a
was my
piece of
next
pipe or
question.
something small.
We asked that during facilities, they use vendors. That's how they're getting around it.
So I don't know if you remember way back, we'll go 5 years ago, we had 30 cards out there.
Mhm.
And that was, we have reeled this in tremendously. Property Service did have one, but it was being used for things that should have been a purchase order.
Mhm.
And so it was easier to just go use a credit card on things versus using and going through the system with a credit card or through the purchase order. I'm sorry, it's easier to use a credit card. So we decided to have that returned. So since then, it's changed, definitely changed positions, and we are looking into possibly giving Property Services. However, they get blanket purchase orders at various Lowe's, Tractor Supply. So if they need to go and purchase something, they can just go there and we have a blanket purchase order and they can just purchase them through that. Lowe's, we also have an account. So they have been able to use that purchase order and that then goes through the system as a purchase order. A blanket purchase order is, say with Lowe's, we have $10,000 that they're allowed to spend. So they can go there and when the $10,000 is spent, we get alerted. And if we have to add, we will, but it's just like a credit card, but just on account. So we've done that through various businesses, local businesses, and that seems to have worked well. So that was one of the reasons, there's two of the reasons why the Property Services. Curriculum, a lot of development is through Megan's department. Professional development is through Megan's department. So they used a credit card when they go to conferences, when they travel, they a lot of times take the curriculum credit card. Elizabeth Barnhart, under special ed, sometimes she is in a pinch getting special ed items for an IEP quickly. And so it could be, and they work evenings and such. So that's why it was decided to get, and that was a decision well back from the previous business manager, as was that card was actually given. I do not believe any of them are misused. We use them for conferences, travel, and a lot of membership fees. That's primarily what the cards are used for.
Joni,
Mhm.
where are the physical cards kept?
Each individual office, locked offices.
Okay,
Yes. And if someone, they all signed agreements. Every one of us who, as a card holder, signed an agreement saying you are responsible. Something happens to the card, I am responsible for that card.
okay,
If the card is taken out, like a teacher needs it for a reason, they have to also sign a piece of paper saying, I am responsible for the card while it's in my possession.
okay,
And then it's signed off by the supervisor, which typically is a principal, or Megan signs off on hers. And then it goes through the system, through the accounts payable system.
okay.
So we feel like we have actually have a pretty good handle on the cards and the card holders.
Okay, definitely better than the 30.
What it really was.
Yep. All right, thank you.
Thanks for that.
All right, financial reports. Questions? Okay, next up's the exchange student. Questions? Elizabeth?
This is exciting. I wish we had 50 of them. At some point, I'm looking forward to it. We're gonna be able to meet the exchange student at some point, do you think?
I don't know, has that happened in the past? I'm not saying that it shouldn't, I don't know if there's a mechanism already in place for.
Well, I'm just saying,
I don't think we've ever, I mean,
Long time ago we did, but it hasn't been something we've. done
yeah,
often.
I mean, we had the
Sounds like a good idea.
ESL individual
Mhm,
in here.
mhm.
Yeah, but that's a little different, but well, it's something we
It
can
would
look
be
at,
nice. It would
something we
be
can look
nice.
at.
Maybe after they get,
Yeah, it'd
You
be
know.
cool to hear
Yep.
what they think of our system. and
yeah,
how it
what
goes.
they like
That
about
might be
theirs.
scary.
Yeah.
I think
Just
it'd be a
saying.
good idea to do it probably after the first semester they're here.
Oh, yeah, after they
That
get
way they get
acclimated.
acclimated and see
Yeah.
Yeah,
what they
Yeah.
like and
So
stuff.
we could ask them, is there anything else that they need?
okay.
Good.
All right, next up, out-of-state field trip. This year is something that I think is freaking awesome.
This is great.
Yes,
It's off the
this
charts.
is living history right here is what it is.
I already I met I'm so sorry.
Good,
Go ahead.
Butch.
I'm just curious, why are we doing it now when it's not till 27?
So she could start doing
Oh,
fundraising.
fundraising.
now, so
Okay.
sort of
Fundraising and
it's
planning,
gonna take
yeah.
A lot of fundraising,
It's gonna
yeah.
take a lot.
Yeah. Elizabeth?
I let her know that I have all my clearances, so if they really need a chaperone.
You gotta pay your own trip, you know that.
Of course I will. I just put it out there. My clearances.
All right, next up, EDU link.
Yeah,
Okay.
what is that? And is that a new program or is that an existing?
Frank?
No, it's an existing, it's the system that we use for teacher evaluation. So it's the electronic system that we use, PAETEP, it goes through EduLink.
So that's not a new,
Correct.
okay.
Was this the actual, I'm sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, I saw it said amendment, that's why, or, yeah,
Amendment.
amendment, that's why I was wondering.
Amended agreement.
Yeah, it's just updating it for this year. Because we typically do a longer term contract with these providers, so it's just the updated cost. I think is the change on this, but I'm not certain.
Okay,
So, great.
Okay, Elizabeth?
Is
Yeah.
this something
Oh.
you think is necessary?
Yes, teacher evaluations, absolutely.
Oh, but
Yes.
But I mean, whatever, is this another software thing or?
Yeah, we're required by PDE to do teacher evaluations, and this is one of the systems that allows us to communicate with PDE about what the evaluations
All right,
are.
that's enough. Once you said PD, you just get it. Just trying to do it yourself is gonna be more than $4,000, keeping their forms happy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, this is for all the teachers.
Yeah.
This isn't just one individual.
Go ahead, Elizabeth.
Okay, this might be a better example, okay? This is an amendment to a contract, but it would be helpful, not that we're gonna pick it apart or anything, but just for transparency, we all understand if we have questions. If we get an amendment to a contract, just put the original contract there also, please. Just, that would be helpful.
Okay. Next up, settlement agreement. This is something that we've already discussed.
Could you remind me what it was, please?
We talked about it earlier tonight in the exec session.
Oh, okay.
All right.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, next up, PSBA School Leadership Conference 2025.
So far, you, Bill, and Roger have indicated interest in attending. We need to get moving if anybody else wants to attend that
Mm-mm.
conference in
Jeez.
in October. And we need to know now so we can do reservations. If not, that's fine. Just want to make sure it's kind of last chance to get on the list.
Elizabeth?
I'm gonna say it again. I did go to this. I'm gonna just please repeat it. I truly believe that what PSBA is doing is they could do this all virtually.
mhm.
And until we all stand up and ask them to do it virtually, they're gonna keep doing this year after year after year.
Yeah, we could save a lot of money if it was done virtually.
Yeah, I'm afraid it's a moneymaker for them, and I'm not happy about it. Not happy. Should be virtual.
All right. Next
I got a
up,
question about that. Aren't these conferences paid with title money? Or the,
I don't
The-
believe we paid for the board.
okay,
PSBA
I
conference
couldn't
that
remember
time.
how it was, but I was just thinking if
yeah,
they're
because we're
gonna,
not getting the money.
if they're holding that money and it's paid with title, I mean, if it's not, fine.
No, we've been paying out of general fund.
Okay. Okay. Just a question.
Okay. All right, continuing on, policies, first read. Policy 626 and 626.1. Anybody have any questions on that? Okay,
We discussed that quite thoroughly.
okay,
I did a great job.
cool. Next up is minutes. Anybody have any problems with any of the minutes? Elizabeth?
Yes, thank you. I too, there's a line in here I feel is very important that's missing.
What minutes? Are you
I
discussing?
too,
I too.
The voting
The
meeting.
voting meeting.
yes, I'm so sorry. I too, June 12th voting meeting. See if I have my notes here. Otherwise I'll ad lib it. Okay, just gonna have to find it. I'm so sorry. Don't have my sheet. Bear with me, please. I shall be as quick as possible.
To pertain to.
The contract, I made a very important,
Contract.
statement. It is not
Which contract?
reflected. The solicitor's contract, I made a very important statement and is not in here.
Remember the,
What number? Oh my, it still keeps,
Number 2.
number 2 on what page, please? Oh, page 2?
so minutes capture what was done and not necessarily what was said.
Yes, but this is, page, oh, okay, thank you so much. Page 2 at the bottom under D2. That's
Yep.
it. Yes, I made a comment and I would please request that it be reflected in the minutes. I stated the board approves contracts. And a contract was not attached. Please. Ms. Lynch stated the board approves contracts.
Again, whenever we're dealing with the minutes, it's not about what is specifically said. It is about the actions that are going on.
Yes, but in Robert's rules, isn't the work session you're allowed to put in comments? That's why I read it, but that's
Well,
neither
the-
and I. But
Robert's rules doesn't differentiate in terms of minutes between work sessions and voting sessions. It does say that the actions, who voted on what things were voted on gets put into the minutes, but not the specifics of the discussion.
okay, can you just add this one word then, please? If you don't want to say that I said it. The last sentence, you could say contract, add the word contract, discussion occurred.
It says regarding a contract.
Okay,
It says right there, Ms. Smith, second motion discussion occurred among board members and administration regarding a contract.
all right, then say Lindsay's contract or something, just so it correlates.
At the
It's
top,
right
it
up
says
above
David Lindsay, District Solicitor. That section is pulled out.
Okay,
I think the motion actually says to approve D2, David Lindsay as district solicitor. Ms. Smith seconded the motion. Discussion occurred among the board members and administration regarding a contract. So what you're asking for is there, the discussion was held regarding a contract. A roll call vote was conducted.
yes, but if we look at the agenda, it was the Lindsay's contract.
That's what it is saying.
Okay,
All right,
all
Chris.
right, thank you.
Regarding that subject, we had brought it up that there was no contract there for us to vote on. Should we pull this vote back until we have the one we're asking for and then re-vote on it?
Well, you already tabled it.
This
Never
one-
voted.
this-
No, that was
this
voted
one
on. Oh, this-
passed.
yeah,
That was voted on and passed.
That's right.
5-3.
Yeah, it was voted and passed, but there wasn't anything to look at to vote on, so should we pull that back, amend it? When
Well-
we get a new one and then put it on and then everything is the way it should be?
We've already approved it. We're requesting that he give us a
Right.
contract. All
Okay.
right. And once he does that, then, and we take a look at it, then we can vote on that.
Okay, that's what I was wondering.
Yeah. All right.
That way everything's brought back up to speed.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right. Let's see now. Next up, bills for payment. Question?
I had sent Joni a list and, she got something back to me, so her and I can talk about some things this week.
Okay, very good. Next up, new story agreement, Elizabeth.
Yes, J1, bills for payment. Page 36.
Of which list?
Oh,
First attachment.
J1. List of bills, yes, thank you. Page, the actual, or it says at the top, page 36, please.
Okay,
I'm just a little confused and we don't need an answer this minute, but maybe next time. I believe we got rid of the majority of the Keystone employees out of the tax office and you're using substitutes right now. So if we are, I think we only have one or two regular Keystone folks in that office. But I'm looking at the bills, like the retirement payments, all of these medical insurance, $33,000. I mean, I'm not looking for an answer right now, but maybe next week could understand how two employees accumulated all of these expenses, or maybe they did. And then,
Everyone who's working in the tax office is still an employee. They're temporary employees. We said we're only going to employ them for a year, but they're still employees. And
so they're
they get
getting
all the-
full benefits?
Yes.
Well,
they have
that's
to.
not what I understood. I understood when we hired them that they were substitutes.
Yeah,
They were substitutes without
Temporary
No,
benefits.
they were temporary
Temporary
employees,
position.
and they would not,
We did an MOU.
Justin, come on up here.
Oh, this is not what I remember.
So they are temporary in the sense that we established an MOU for a timeline that I believe it's December that those positions would be dissolved.
Yeah,
So
but I was,
currently, right now, they're a full-time employee. They fall under the CBA, the collective bargaining agreement, just like any other employee that we have.
okay, I don't know how I remember this so incorrectly. I was told that the trained people that we already trained were being moved out into other positions and substitutes were coming in. They're going to be there until December. But if the substitutes are still there after December, by the
Then-
contract, we have to hire them full-time.
no.
Yes.
No,
If they would stay after
Yeah.
December, they stay permanent.
So we moved out completely trained people that we were paying benefits for. And then we brought in substitutes that weren't trained, that we're still paying benefits for. I am utterly confused. So it looks
You're
like the bills are
confusing me, I
correct.
can tell you that.
So we moved employees, I'm so sorry.
That's
So we-
not appropriate.
I'm just
So-
saying, I'm confused
Well,
completely.
So some employees chose to transfer into different positions that were vacant due to individuals leaving, like you had an individual that moved into benefits as the benefits secretary from the tax office, which opened a vacancy. So we didn't add any additional, we filled the tax
They're not
office.
substitutes. I'm sorry. when I
No,
voted
they're
for
not
it-
a substitute, but they're a temporary
Temporary
employee.
Okay, I misunderstood. When I voted for it, I thought I was voting for substitutes.
They're full-time temporary
they
employees.
were temporary.
temporary employees get the same benefits as full-time employees.
Yes.
Why didn't we just hire substitutes? All right, never mind. That's a.
Because we
okay.
can't.
Okay, never mind.
substitute- yeah,
Okay.
We couldn't have done that because that would be a violation of the CBA.
I thought that was the agreement, that they agreed to that. That we would be allowed to have substitutes,
No,
but
they,
if we kept them to December, okay. I completely misunderstood what I voted for, and I'm sorry I ever voted for that, be that as it may. Okay, moving forward. We
Just-
talked about this last time, the $50,000 office rent. I mean, I realize you're gonna close the tax office, okay? I get it, but that's just shuffling money. You're not making money. You're not expending money. Keystone Central School District Tax Office takes in fees. Fees go to the general fund and then the other fees go to the municipalities as their portion. I'm sorry, not the fees. The fees stay here. So when we see this $50,000, it's not an expense. It's just moving the money around. So I just want to help folks understand that it's just moving the money around, but I'm sorry, I'm just really stunned that I misunderstood that whole thing a few months ago.
Okay,
Sorry.
Chris?
I'm just curious about something, and if you guys remember, last year we were looking at some bills and I said something about we spend over 5 million a month on bills. And Joni said, yeah, that's about what it runs. And I'm curious why last year in July of 24, the bills were 5,532,999. This month in 25, they're 11,119,274. Why such a huge jump? Because I've been watching and every month they're getting up and up and up. And I'm just curious. I mean, we've more than doubled where we were last year. That just seems like a super high amount. I'm just curious.
Is the construction project in here, is Liberty Curtain? Joni?
Look at the bottom page at your total totals.
And then compare it to last year's.
And
total.
24 was 5,532,999 for the month of July. This year, it's 11,119,274 for the same month, or for July 25. Huh?
Couldn't have July yet, should we?
It's for this meeting.
Yeah, so it's June payment.
June payment.
Yeah, June payment.
Okay. No, I understand.
Yeah, if you're looking for 24. last
Johnny, would
page.
you be able to figure that out, Richard?
It's a good catch.
Or is that gonna take forever?
Yeah, she can get me an answer.
Next.
I'm just curious why it more than doubled.
Well,
That
Okay,
just seems a lot.
all right. Any other questions? Okay, next up, new story agreement. Questions? Okay, next, IDEA agreement. Anybody have any questions on that? Okay, next up, the Pitney Bowes renewal for Mill Hall Elementary. Anybody have any questions on that? That's for postage, stuff like that, so. Okay, next up is the River Rock Academy Services contract. Anybody have any questions on that?
Yeah, why are we only giving them 5 slots?
Yeah, okay, great.
If you look at that data that we sent, that I sent earlier tonight, I apologize for not getting it to you.
Yeah,
I
we
just
got it when the meeting
Yeah,
started,
I
so.
just got it a few minutes before that.
Okay.
So I sent it as soon as I got it. So when if you look at that data and kind of, if you average how many students we have in placement at any one time, it sits at about 10. Sometimes it's more than that, but a lot of
Okay.
times it's less than that. So I'm always trying to find the balance of how many seats do we want to reserve, knowing that sometimes those seats are going to go empty. And we're just,
Right.
we're putting money that we're not actually using. And sometimes we have to overpay when we have more than 10 students in there. And so doing that math on average, we need about 10 seats every month.
Okay,
So, and it's important to have students in 2 different places because a lot of times they get in trouble with each other. So we need to
Right.
put 2 different places. So
I would
that's
just-
why we did 5 in each.
I was just wondering why we're giving so many more to Nittany Learning and not increasing
We're doing,
River Rock.
should be 5 in each.
Yeah, Nittany Learning. Mhm. Yeah, I'll be honest with you. Oh, may I, Roger, please?
Cause
Go ahead.
like when
Oh,
he
well,
was
hold on.
talking, he has 21 kids, the other one had 5.
Over the course of, well,
Why aren't we balancing that out a bit?
so remember, River Rock started in January, was the first time
Right.
we were able to send, so that's part of the difference there.
May I
So
just-
we're doing 5 in Nittany Learning and
Page
5
2.
in River Rock.
Page 2.
So we're doing equal on prepaid seats in both.
Oh, cause I thought we did 10 prepaid seats.
Last year we did, once we lost the one that closed down. And
Okay,
all 10 of them were there because we didn't have another option until River Rock opened, which wasn't until mid-year.
so now they're each gonna get 5.
Now we're doing 5
Okay.
each.
May I?
It-
Oh, go ahead.
Elizabeth?
No, go ahead.
No, you go,
No, please.
Elizabeth,
No,
you
go
were
ahead.
waiting. Go ahead.
No, go ahead, please.
I just,
Well,
do you have any kind of a handle, Frank, on how well the kids, for lack of a better term, how well the kids do at them comparatively?
Most of the students who go to one of the AEDY placements come back and we don't have the same kind of disciplinary issues with them anymore. Not all of them. Most of them come back and they've figured out how to regulate and kind of get back on track and be part of the school community in a much better way. And the ones, as you heard, they have to come back, and if they reoffend, then we
I
can wait for
understand.
them. And so there's always a couple of kids that take more time.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I didn't ask my question clearly. I'm sorry. It's my fault. I mean, do either of these seem to be doing a better job with producing the product that we want?
I don't have the data on that yet, but my sense is that the students who are coming out are equally successful from both programs.
All right, just as a suggestion, I think that would be an important thing to try to get your gut feeling on as things go for the future.
I've heard from the principals, good things coming out of both programs.
All right, thank you.
and one of the other things is it's always good to have the two
Oh, I'm not,
different ones.
I'm
Yeah.
not disputing that. I'm just saying
Right.
if, in my opinion, if we find out that one's
Doing
seems to
better.
be doing better and we don't have more than 5 kids that need to go at any one given time, you send them to the one that's doing better.
Okay.
You know,
Yeah.
that would be the way I would look at it.
Right. All
Exactly.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's why,
right, Elizabeth.
yeah, it's exactly, that's why the apples to apples to work with administration. So when we evaluate at the end of the year, we know which one appears to be doing the better job, and then we can, I did notice though that River Rock is charging a little over 14,000, and Nittany Learning Services though is charging a little over 17,000 for the same product. So, and I'll be honest with you, I was pretty darn impressed with their webpage, River Rock Academy. But again, I don't have the data, so I can't really say anything. But be that as it may, if River Rock is less expensive, wouldn't it make more sense to try to push a little more business that way? And then keep a little less for the more expensive one? And I understand sometimes you gotta split some groups up. I do respect that. But it seems like as of right now, I would have no problem increasing River Rock and decreasing Nittany if you want to keep some same number.
Right.
Okay. All right. Anybody else have anything? Okay, next up is,
So what, are we gonna change the numbers or what are we doing?
I do not want to change the numbers. I think having more
No.
flexibility is more helpful. And also with Nittany Learning Services, the way that I recognize that you're saying that Nittany Learning is more, but with the 5 seats, we do get a free seat there. So it kind of comes out in the wash in terms of the cost.
So we really have 11 seats instead of 10.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, then, wait, why didn't we negotiate with River Rock Academy though and get the extra seat? I didn't see in the contract where it says we
Didn't
get
we
the
have
extra
an
seat.
extra seat last year with River
So,
Rock?
no, not at River Rock. So in the past, Nittany Learning Services, if you pre-purchase 10 slots, then they would give you one extra one.
Right.
Now, this year, they changed the contract and said, if you go 10 with us again, we'll give you 2, but if you can only do 5, we'll still give you that 1. So perhaps if we establish a longer term relationship with River Rock, then we can try to work
Yeah.
towards a similar sort of.
They're
Can't we just
new.
ask them now? Just, they say, look, just get the one extra 1 seat now, man. Come on.
I'd like to have a little more history with the program.
Yeah,
In terms of the
it's.
quality.
Okay.
We've only
I mean,
got
it's
6
still-
months in.
All right, next year. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, like
It's
he
still
said, they're,
It's still new.
I agree.
like
I
he
agree.
said, they've grown substantially in the last year. And if that one kid had been there with the group they have now, it'd have been better. So I think it would be a better evaluation next
For
year
sure.
to do it, but I think we should keep equal seats to both of them.
Okay. Understood. Makes sense. Next
Okay,
year.
next up, donation. Anybody have any questions on the donation?
Yeah, where's
Oh,
it,
go ahead,
This
Butch.
is a big deal.
where's it coming from?
It doesn't
Oh,
say.
hold on, Butch.
I was just gonna say, I think it's phenomenal. I think it just shows that Kurt's going out there
Yeah.
hustling every day, trying to find stuff to help us educate our kids, and this $109,000 is just unbelievable.
Oh, yeah,
I wanna thank
absolutely.
Who's it
Whoever gave.
from? Who's it from?
We didn't wanna-
I wish we had
Well,
20 more
So
Kurt's.
Track Machine Tools, the company donated, so I put a note in the weekly memo.
Okay,
About
can-
this, so it's the Track Machine
Yeah.
company itself. It's
Okay.
Well, there should be a
I
big
would,
deal.
suggest, well, I would think it would be appropriate if they received a very nice thank you letter
Yes,
from our
absolutely.
president there,
Something in the newspaper.
you know,
Okay,
Once it gets installed.
because
I was gonna suggest, instead of just giving a letter from the president, we see if we can find a representative to come here and make like they can do like a honorary presentation of the machine to the board, something like that, and have the local media come and
that would be
really
even
highlight.
better.
That would
yeah.
be
even
Because that
better.
would,
that'd be
Give him
good.
the letter, then when he
Yeah,
comes.
what's-
Yeah,
by doing
there you
that,
go.
by doing that also, it might give some other company, ABC Construction, an idea that this company did it, let's do it here, because let's
Yeah.
get the recognition
Get the
out there.
news station.
Get them, come with the machine, when the machine arrives, have them,
Perhaps a friendly amendment to that idea. I like the idea. What if we were to arrange that when it gets installed?
That's
So
To
exactly what I
have the
mean.
board show up and have the press show up, so.
That's-
everyone's-
what I was
That'd
saying.
be,
better.
that'd be,
that's
yeah.
what I was just getting, when it
Kurt's
comes,
real,
when it comes, have them.
Kurt's being a rock star with the grants and
He is.
equipment. I
He's
mean,
amazing.
Roger.
Yes,
Yeah.
go ahead, Bill.
Yeah, I spoke to Kurt about this and he's really excited. Says the kids are gonna really benefit from this. So this really is a big deal, more than just the monetary value of what's here.
Yeah, the opportunities for
Yeah.
kids is gonna be.
Yeah.
Elizabeth,
Okay, I'm gonna request it again. Please, please consider putting Kurt on our agenda so he can give us an his annual presentation to show all of these things that he's accomplished, his team's accomplished this last year.
he does that
he
already.
does that.
It's already.
Oh, I know he did, but we didn't get one yet. I'm
No,
still,
it'll come.
I know, I'm just putting it out there. I'm waiting.
Patience is a virtue.
Yeah, virtuous.
Okay, next up, final general fund budget mills update. So, Frank, do you want to explain exactly what's going on with this as far
Actually,
as,
Joni
well,
might be better
Joni,
positioned to kind of talk about that.
yeah.
So at the last meeting, you had approved the general fund budget. The mills on that budget were not updated.
So,
This is just the updated mills.
so to be clear, if I could,
Mhm.
what was on what we sent in,
Oh, the PDE,
that's all
It's
correct.
all
right?
correct.
And so the
Absolutely.
information that was shared with the board, all of the thing,
Yes.
the
the
presentations,
reports that
everything,
were
was correct.
attached.
It's just the part on the agenda that
Yes.
was mistyped. or had
Correct.
the old
Correct.
information on it.
It wasn't anything submitted to PDE. It was just um, the presentation there in front of you on the board doc that was not updated, but everything submitted to PDE, what you Roger signed, approved for the
Right.
budget, what we uploaded was all correct.
So basically, what we are doing now is we're just gonna vote on these mills.
Yes,
So that way we can match the
PD
minutes
Yes, correct.
with what we sent in.
Yes,
Because in order for PDE to be happy, they need these two things to match.
yes, correct,
That's all it is.
correct.
Okay.
So Elizabeth,
Okay, Joni, or someone, okay, just so everyone's on the same page. Who sets the mill rate for these counties?
Who set the mill rate?
Yeah, who sets the mill rates for these counties? Oh, don't worry if you don't know the answer, but let's have it so everyone can understand how that works. Go ahead.
Isn't this just what it takes to make up the tax increase that,
I
we
don't know if
voted
the
in?
county sets the mill rate,
Well, maybe we can talk about that next week, okay? So we have
Okay.
understand.
you know?
I have,
Sorry, the next week.
okay. Next up, enterprise. Buy out the vehicles. Frank, do you want to discuss
Yeah.
what you were telling me before?
So, we have an agreement with Enterprise and we lease, quite a few vehicles. And we are trying to find a more efficient way for us to have the vehicles that we need and not spend extra money when we don't need to. So what we're finding is that as these leases are coming close to being expired, typically we turn them in and get a new lease. But the vehicles that we have here, these 7 vehicles are low mileage and they're coming towards the end of their lease. It would be much more advantageous for us to buy out these leases at the price of $62,673.47. And then not have to pay the leases on those, and then we can keep them. The rate at which we're putting mileage on those cars, we figure we can keep them for another 10 years with kind of normal maintenance, oil change and that sort of thing. We can keep them for 10 years. We don't have to pay lease payments anymore. So for about the cost of 1 year's lease payments, we can buy out all of these. And over the course of the next 10 years, we're going to be saving, as it says here, $620,000.
I think that's a good idea.
Yeah. Chris?
Are these vehicles intended, some of them at least, for employees to drive to events and stuff?
These
So that
vehicles
we're
are-
not paying mileage out?
We've already done a trade out on those. We're taking one of the vehicles, the one that's parked up here. That is the one that I'm using, Randy's using, IT is using to drive around. So we can not pay mileage to individuals. So
Right.
we are working on that. These vehicles are all PSO. So
Okay.
there are trucks, our snow plows, our dump trucks, all that kind of stuff.
I was wondering about that. That's what I thought, but I wanted to ask, because when I saw the 3 passenger vehicles, there's 3 Transit 150 passengers.
Oh, yeah, those are the school van. Oh, no, those are the ones that are maintenance guys. Those are the panel vans.
Okay,
That our maintenance staff uses to go around to the different school sites.
okay. So everything here is property
Yeah,
services.
this is all property services stuff.
Cause it'd be nice to have a couple vehicles like this one parked up here that teachers or staff could use to go to events, so
Yep.
we can cut down the mileage we're paying out, because
As I
that's
said, we're working on it.
crazy.
Right, that's why we have that one up here.
Okay.
Go ahead, Bill.
Just curiosity, really, is it? I mean, getting these now, they're gonna need maintenance. Can the kids in the CTE that are in the automotive thing be involved in doing the maintenance on these? Which would be like a win-win, and would save us a little money and give them experience?
Potentially, yes. So we always have to run the balance of giving them tasks to do that aren't necessarily connected with the things that they have to demonstrate they're learning to get the CTE credentials. But I think it's certainly worth the conversation with our automotive program to
Okay.
see if we could have sort of a
It'd
continuous.
be great,
rotation.
yeah.
Cause like Bill is saying, does our automotive program get kids certified for state inspection and stuff like that? Cause if it did, we could save a ton of money. I don't know if
think we
they do it or
I don't
not.
think
We
we
do.
have the state inspection licensure program here. I'd have to check with Kurt to see what what it would take to do something like that.
Okay.
They used to do it for the adult education program.
Yeah, we do.
Yeah.
They don't do it for, they don't do it for the kids. I don't know if it's an age requirement. I can't remember what it is for the state inspection.
That's
anymore.
probably to
Been
tell
too long.
much there's an age
Yeah, I
requirement.
can't remember.
There
It's
may
been,
be- there may
it's been
be.
too long since I did it. So, yeah.
Okay. All right. Next up, front line. Anybody have any questions on that? Go ahead,
Yeah,
Bill.
just again, is this, what exactly is this? Is this something we really need?
Right.
It just says
Oh,
analytics.
You
Joni.
might as well just sit right there for the night.
I think I'm done after this. This is the
Want a bet?
software that is used to compare us to other school districts. So this will incorporate very well with our new accounting system that's coming in. What we're doing over the summer is we're working on, again, new financial reports for the board so that you can kind of get a little bit of a deeper dive into the reports. But we're also going to start showing you how we compare to IU school districts or Jersey Shore or Bellefonte or State College. What this software does is it pulls in all of that information with, it takes 5 minutes, seriously, to be able to do a report. And how does our teacher salaries compare with State College or Bellefonte or our IU?
Okay.
How do
Alright.
our benefits, how do our athletics compare? It pulls in a bunch of PDE information and pulls it into the software. And again, you'll be able to start seeing those reports over the summer. Well, this summer, we're going to work on it. And then by fall, you'll start seeing some of these comparable reports, probably through the finance committee first, and then through the board.
Good. All right. Thank you.
Cool.
If I could real quick back up to
Yeah.
the previous discussion, Kurt said that he will have the media lined up when that equipment gets here. We do not have the state inspection licensure. First of all, I can't find a teacher and there's an 18-year-old requirement.
Okay.
Thanks.
That took him that long, huh?
No, I just noticed it after we moved
I-
on. He was right on it. When you said that, I was paying
Sure,
attention.
sure.
I'm trying to figure out
Sorry.
where is that up there? Well, it must be
May I
that
say
K.
something?
Okay, go ahead, Elizabeth.
Yeah.
Okay. I love reports. I love data,
Mhm.
okay? It's a known fact.
Mhm.
But this is a perfect example where it says in the legislation, school districts should do cooperative purchasing with municipalities, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. I would like to hold off on this, and this is why. The ICU 10, the other local school districts, please start considering doing cooperative purchases. Now, maybe this particular software refuses to do a sharing program. I don't know.
Many
But we
Pennsylvania
all-
school districts use this software.
Why are we all purchasing it separately? This is where I'm going. We haven't been using cooperative purchasing. We haven't had those discussions, but here's a perfect example.
Well. Go ahead.
So I would like to hold off and just see if there is an option to maybe pony up or piggyback with another school district or the IU 10. And Jeff, there might be those things that you guys can talk about. What are all these school districts continually buying independently?
I would recommend as administration, we don't hold off because that sets us back. It sets
Okay.
us back with the progression that we've made this year.
And
Bush,
how many people are you?
hold on a second, Bill.
I'm sorry.
Isn't
Butch?
this basically the licensing agreement for us to
Yeah.
use this program? So if we can't actually pony up with other
Right.
school districts.
No, it's a
we want-
licensing
have
agreement.
to
We
have
don't
the
own the
license.
software.
Correct. We have to have the license to be able to
Right.
access the stuff,
Right.
just like the other school districts have to
Right.
purchase it.
Yes,
Correct.
but this is, please let me clarify.
Bill.
Okay.
And how many people are you gonna be having? I mean, it says, if this is a license for up to 5.
Mhm.
I'm guessing you probably have 3 or 4 at
Oh,
least.
yeah, Christy uses it. We're probably going to have start probably HR because there's a lot of salaries and benefits information in this. So yeah, it's a pretty powerful tool. I don't know if this is something you can do in-house. They pull the information from PDE. That would be a tremendous amount of work that our IT
Oh, no.
department I don't think they would be able to handle that kind of workload.
Okay.
But what
Mm.
this program already does.
Okay.
No, what I was driving at is referring to what Elizabeth is asking about. It's really not, we're purchasing anything. We're licensing it and we're licensing it it would be the
the
same.
use of it.
Microsoft.
We're gonna probably need
Yes.
5 people
Correct.
anyway, maybe more. you know,
Correct.
And just, you know,
Correct.
so.
Yes.
Elizabeth?
Okay. Let me recap real quick. All right. So if the usage is for up to 5 employees, this may not be a perfect fit. Okay? But Jeff, when your group gets together, or Dr. Redmond, when you get together with the other local school districts, please start considering having these conversations. Maybe this company would give us a 10% discount if we ponied up with 3 other districts. I don't know. But at some point, we gotta start doing the conversation of cooperative purchasing, please.
I'll be honest, Elizabeth, why would they do that whenever they're already everybody's using it and you're kind of stuck.
Maybe
that.
this isn't the perfect example, but I'm just saying, when school districts start working together, we're more powerful.
Well, I know that they
Oh.
do that already. The IU does cooperative group purchasing of office paper, for example.
Sure.
Right.
And I understand that and I agree with that. Wherever you can make purchases of bulk items like that, you are going to save money. But I really don't know where you're going with this, because this is a license. This is something that you buy. And I don't think, even if we had every district in the IU want to use this, I don't see that they're going to give you any kind of a price break on it.
I didn't say this would be a perfect example, but I'm just using it as a concept example. And will they give us a lower price if we don't have 5 employees on it?
No, I asked that, actually. I did ask that. 5 is the minimum.
Okay, thank you very much. Good.
Well,
I was just gonna, basically, Jeff kind of covered what I was gonna ask about, whether if the IU could get some kind of deal where if a lot of people are using it anyway, if everybody in the IU used it, would it be a little cheaper? But it sounds like
And they
That would
are
work.
doing that with whatever, items, and papers is probably as good example as any, because it was at one time here right after COVID, very expensive. It's come down now, but we still get a price break because we buy it in bulk as, I don't know whether every district buys
We
it, but I know
purchase through
that
the
there's,
IU. We
right.
purchase
I
paper
know
through
we're
the
part of
IU.
that, and I know several of the other districts in the IU do too, so.
all right. Thank you.
thank you, Johnny.
Next up, Soaring Heights Agreement for 25-26. Anybody have any questions on that?
That's the Pyramid Healthcare thing, right?
This is, yes, right, that's what's in the contract. So
Okay.
this is one of the placement sites for students that may not necessarily be appropriate for an AEDY placement, but they're students with disabilities that need to have an alternative placement.
That's what I was wondering, because I saw it says it's a private academic school.
Mhm.
So I was curious what all that encompassed.
Yeah, so students with really specific needs around their IEP.
Okay.
Okay, next up is the Acadians, reading and math. Okay, does anybody have any questions on this? Elizabeth?
Thank you. If someone could just explain, I mean, of course, I'm gonna say it again, I love data. Data drives success. But I'm trying to cure, is this a reoccurring contract? Is this a new contract? Why do we need, if it's new, why do we need it versus what are we doing now? Is it, if we
It's
don't,
a reoccurring.
okay, well then here's a perfect example of if we could have something noted somewhere that it's just a reoccurring contract would be very helpful.
Okay,
And what exactly is this, Frank?
There's a explanation there in the public content. It's assessments that we use for our younger students. And it helps us keep track of data. So we don't have state testing or map testing for very young students. So this helps us with some of that data gathering, so we can kind of keep track of the progress for our students in kindergarten, first and second grade.
That's when.
and be able to see whether, whether they might be at risk
Mhm.
for some issues. So, all right, Chris?
And does this work?
Oh,
Do
go
you
ahead.
really, does this really help better than just the individual teacher's observations?
it certainly will provide us consistency of data. So you get a significant amount of variability in assessment between one teacher and another. This helps kind of give us a level playing field and takes any potential bias or differentiation, just sort of normal differences between teachers, and helps us understand more objectively how the students are progressing and whether or not they may, as Roger was saying, need some more intervention.
So they're teaching different things and they're just trying to.
All right. Okay, Chris?
It says here that the cost for this program is gonna be paid by the general fund.
Mhm.
Can that not come out of some other fund that it's not
Such as,
going?
we have general fund and we have title funds, which we don't have. And the title funds have to go to really specific things, typically not curriculum.
Okay,
So curriculum is very much a general fund.
okay.
Okay. NWEA map growth K through 12. Questions? All right, next up, insurance rates. Anybody have any questions on this?
Just-
Elizabeth?
This is just, it says approve the renewing workers' compensation coverage. So this is just another reoccurring contract?
Yes.
Or is this something
Yeah,
we can
no.
put out to bid?
No, this is a reoccurring contract.
Okay,
We put out for bid last year.
okay, that's why, okay. And this says just page 22. The attachment, so this is just page 22 of the contract?
The contract is the same, the costs are a little bit different. The rest of the contract is the same. So
Okay, so do we know, so we see the cost of 2024, and then we see the rejection of 2025?
So that's the real cost.
That's the real cost, okay. Okay, thank you.
Okay. Next up, personnel. Anybody have any questions on the personnel?
I do.
Go ahead, Chris.
On page 4, down at the bottom. It says the transfer of Christina Manning from Director of Pupil Services to Director of Pupil Services to Principal at Woodward Elementary.
and so she's doing both roles.
Okay, is that overloading her plate so that she can't be super effective in either or?
We've done some reshuffling of her specific duties, so we've taken off some of the things that she was doing as just the pupil services director and passed them off and kind of re-leveled some things so that she can be effective as both the Woodward principal and the student pupil services director.
Okay, is she in charge of the people? And I'm only asking this to make sure there's not a conflict. Does she have anything to do with what kids get placed where?
No,
Okay, is she in charge of people that do?
no. When you say kids placed, are you talking about?
You talking about the AEDY
Yeah.
individuals?
Yeah.
The principals determine.
The
that.
principals determine, okay. The other thing I was curious about is under the professional staff, there's no rates of pay or anything listed there like there is for any of the other ones. Is there a pay rate change or?
It's per the CBA.
Yeah.
So which ones are you talking? Are you talking about the transfers?
Well, you can look at the professional transfers.
Yeah, if it's a professional transfer, it's no change in pay. They're just moving from one role to another.
They're already our employee.
Justin. Sorry.
Yeah, so if you're looking just at the transfer, they're just transferring from, it could be just a change in their title.
Okay,
So if they picked up, maybe they were, I'll just use an example, they could have been a biology teacher, now they're biology enrichment. It's no change, it's just a transfer in title, or they transferred maybe from one grade level to another. If you look further up on the agenda on the employment, it will have the salary attached.
okay.
Oh, it's on this sheet?
If you look on page
Employment,
2.
yeah, employment of a,
Under professional.
If it's someone who's new that's coming into the district, then we do have the rate that's there.
Right,
Right, but on the transfer, they're already an employee, they're already getting a salary, that's not changing as they transfer from one position to another.
That's kind of what I was at. If they're transferring, are they getting a change in pay or?
No.
Okay.
All right,
One to personnel.
Elizabeth.
Yes.
Hi, I would like to know, it would be nice though if their salaries were mentioned in professional, so we all know how much these folks are making. It would be nice unless that's private information.
It's for the CBA and it's not changing.
Okay, yes, but it would still be nice if everyone else is listed, just for consistency, that they're also listed. What,
But we're not changing anything. So I mean, they're already employed. And I don't understand what why the board would want to see that information for every individual every time they transfer. If the board member has a specific question about how we place people or where people get placed, then we can talk about that process and procedure.
what's wrong with putting their salary there? I guess maybe that should be the question. It just seems like everyone else's salaries or wages are listed. And then,
Only whenever we're hiring new
We're
people
hiring- We have to.
or
approve.
filling a position. That's
okay, so
whenever
that's
it's
the way you
there.
would like this report
That's
to
why,
stay.
that's why I was curious if a transfer changed,
No,
job description changed, if that changed pay. That's what I
No.
was at.
they're just moving from point A to point B and they're staying at
Same pay.
the same pay.
That's what I was curious.
So
I have a continuation.
Elizabeth,
Okay, I'm gonna be very careful how I say this because this is not about the person, this is about the responsibility. I am very concerned that an elementary principal is going in there when it's been documented, I stated it earlier, behavioral issues first come up in elementary school. And those are the key years, otherwise the behavioral issues follow the child throughout their whole education. So will the board be given, or will the public be given, will anyone be given the new recommended principal for Woodbridge Elementary's resume?
no.
Years of
No.
service?
Absolutely
What?
not. Absolutely not.
It's no format.
That's personnel stuff. And that is not for.
So we don't
the
know what the
public.
experience
Would you like
is.
would you like one of your employers throwing out your resume and
Well,
where you
not-
live
not
and all
public.
that stuff
No,
to
you're
the
correct.
entire public?
You're correct. I'm extremely dehydrated right now and I apologize, okay? What I'm saying, for a board member to approve a principal of the school, I feel that the principal's responsibilities are key and very important. And I will support someone when I know what their skills, abilities, and outcomes from their previous jobs as a principal are. Thank you.
Okay.
Can I ask
I
a
would
question
just-
regarding that? Dr. Redmond, is this individual in question, does this person have proper certification for that position?
She does have proper certification for that position.
Okay. And if she's certified or that person is certified, he or she, and the state recognizes the fact that they are able to do hold that position, we as a board have no reason to question that. I am very offended by the insinuation here that this person, because obviously there's some kind of a hidden agenda here, and I know what it is, that we're questioning that person's ability, who has plenty of years of service in this district and prior to that. I am totally upset with that. It is uncalled for. And I think, as Roger said at the beginning of the meeting, as he reads his statement, that we need to be respectful. And I've sat here and I've listened to a lot of stuff tonight, and I'm trying to do that. But that's crossing the line. I'm sick and tired of that.
All right,
These insinuations.
Bill.
Well, initially, I just wanted to make a comment about your statement. And I don't think it's, now I have no idea what the legalities are. And we obviously have to follow them. But I have no problem whatsoever with displaying the resumes of everybody that's working in a professional category for us here. I don't think it's a problem. I certainly had to do it in my professional capacity. And I think that to want to know those things and to have it public knowledge is, if it's not illegal, is appropriate. As for Mr. Johnson's comments, he certainly has the right to be offended, if the privilege of being offended, if he wishes to. I had serious questions in regard to this candidate. I'm not going to mention anything. I'm bringing it up here now. I don't think it's appropriate, but she's already been hired. So that's that. As for a hidden agenda, I wish you would tell me what that is, because I certainly don't know what it is. And I think if you want to talk about being disrespectful and unprofessional, that's really, if it hasn't crossed the line, is right on the border. That's all I have to say about that.
All right, thank you. Chris?
I'm gonna agree with Bill on that. Jeff, there is no hidden agenda that I know of. We asked questions before we had to make a decision. We had no knowledge, nothing.
Which position are we talking about here? I thought we were talking about the Woodward position.
That's what you said, Woodward.
You said Woodward.
Oh, okay. Well,
I'm not talking about that.
Hold on. When we get attacked because we ask a question or we have an opinion, everybody here has one. You shouldn't be attacking each other because somebody's asking a question. That's what I'm
That's
sick
not a
of.
question.
Because we're not following per se, we're not doing a sweep and vote because everybody else is doing it.
All right,
Is wrong.
before this goes any further, we're going to stop it.
Good, then stop it the whole way around.
That's why I just said that. All right. Next up, athletics and student activity personnel. Questions on that? Play targets, question on that.
I think that's way overdue and that's a great step to be making.
Yep.
Those kids that are getting involved in that are national level kids and we should be supporting them.
Okay. Butch?
I just have a question. It's pretty specific when it says about Central Mountain. Is there a cooperative agreement with the kids from Bucktail? 'Cause I know a couple of years ago, there was a student from Bucktail participated in this. I don't know if it's gonna be
Mhm.
continued. I
I
know
think
for,
it'd be district wide.
It should be.
again, it says, it specifically says
Central Mountain.
Central Mountain. Through the PIAA, you have to do
Yeah,
a
I-
cooperative agreement. I think it costs $100 to do it. It's minimal, yeah.
Good pickup.
Yeah.
Butch.
Yeah,
Can
if
we,
have-
can
if
we
have
do
student-
that?
If we have student interest,
Yeah.
It has to be district wide.
Yeah.
It needs to be.
Okay.
So will that affect this?
That's a good pickup.
No,
No, it's gonna be, if I may have the floor.
go ahead.
What normally happens in the past, and we do it with wrestling, I think the biggest one we're doing with, you
Mhm.
have the Central Mountain program, but then the Bucktail kids come down and do a cooperative program. Like I said, I thought it was $100, but Frank said 150, but you have this PIAA has to approve Bucktail not having a program. They come down here to this. It's a simple thing. It's just paperwork and a little bit of money.
Would the charter school be involved in that then also? And available to them?
Yeah, there's already, board policy around, charter schools being able to participate in extracurriculars with them.
Well, I knew that, but I didn't know if this qualified for that also.
The way we're putting it in,
Cause I know
To
the
be
charter
covered.
school has a bunch of kids that are involved in that.
yeah, we just follow the same rules we do with all of our other programs.
Okay.
Okay. Next up, competitive cheer. Questions?
That's great.
Okay. Next up, under negotiations, the MOU with the ACCE as far as trading days. Does anybody have any questions on that? No? All right,
Motion to adjourn.
adjourned.
You gotta break that hammer.
I don't have